Hey College Success, welcome to your week 15 assignment video. Hard to believe that we're almost done. So at this point, there's maybe one or two workshops left for anyone to take. So you want to make sure that if you've already attended a workshop that you submit your certificate of attendance. And if you haven't taken a workshop yet, please check out the video, go register, get it done, and submit your certificate. Another quick reminder, I've had people take advantage of week 1 and 2 open. So this coming weekend, week 3 will be reopened. So this coming Friday, Saturday, Sunday, week 3 will reopen for anyone who needs to make up work from a little bit earlier in the semester. Also, week 16 is going to open early. So week 16 is going to open on a Friday and it's going to close on the following Friday. So you still get a full week. So there is going to be a time period where weeks 3, 15, and 16 are all open at the same time. So I just ask that you please get week 15 done first. And then as soon as week 16 opens, take advantage of that opening early. That'll allow you to kind of wrap up the course a little earlier. So let's go ahead and jump into week 15. We're in chapter 11 talking about healthy lifestyle, a topic that I think is very difficult to kind of wrap our heads around when we're so busy, right? Making sure that we're taking care of ourselves because we have 500 other things going on. And sometimes we put ourselves at the bottom of that list. So I think that's why it's even more important to really pay attention to the content of the chapter. So if you haven't already, go ahead and take a look at the lecture video that goes over the content and talks about, the concepts and material that are the basis of the assignments for this week. So this is another typical week where we're going to have a discussion forum due by Wednesday for your attendance and then responded to classmates by Sunday. You have an assignment for chapter 11 and a chapter 11 quiz. So again, very typical stuff. So let's hop in here and we're going to take a look at the discussion forum prompt. The prompt is pretty simple. Are your eating and sleeping habits currently affecting your ability to have a super successful college experience? So think about and maybe that's how you'll start off your response is just a real general, what are your eating and sleeping habits? Do you eat well? Do you sleep well? Do you struggle with one or the other or both? Or maybe you're doing really well with both of those things. Describe the health and wellness changes a commitment to eating clean and sleeping well will bring about and how you can benefit in the short and long term. Now, I know a lot of students will say like they just don't have a great sleep schedule because they're up late doing homework and then they're up early for work or whatever that might look like. And then same thing with eating. We're so busy during the day that maybe we're not eating the best or we're eating too much junk because it fills us up in the moment, but it doesn't really do us any good in the long run. So just kind of think about those type of things and how maybe making some changes to eating or sleeping. And you can maybe talk about some other things in here too, like do you drink enough water or that kind of stuff. You can talk about those habits and how that will help you both in the short and long term. And you can really connect it just to your academics, about how maybe you'll have more energy, more focus, more motivation. And you can maybe talk about your personal life as well if you want to. Maybe you'll have more energy for your kids or whatever it might be, whatever you feel is appropriate to talk about with your eating and sleeping. So that is your prompt for chapter 11 for this week, for this discussion forum. Your next assignment is the chapter 11 assignment called Make or Break a Habit. It's going to be a Microsoft Word doc. So you're going to open up. It's going to open up here, and it says that you're going to kind of complete this table with a habit you will break and a habit you will make in the coming weeks. So obviously, I'm not going to know if you really do this. It's just kind of like a thought process, thinking about what kind of habits do I want to make and break, and it gives a couple little examples up here. So when I filled this out the very first time, I kind of paired my habits. So like my healthy habit to make, I wanted to drink more water, and my unhealthy habit to break was like cut out pop. So you kind of see how those go together. Yours do not have to connect at all. Your healthy habits can be whatever you want them to be, same with unhealthy habits to break, or you can pair them up. So think about things that might be a little easy to do up until maybe some things you might have to work at. So think about maybe your exercise, your sleep, your mental health, all of those things you want to, healthy habits you want to start making, and then things you think you want to break. After you fill out the table, you're just going to answer a few questions. What reminders will you use? It could literally be a reminder like in your phone, like, hey, drink some more water. Or it could be like little Post-it notes. I think I've shared before, I'm a Post-it note person. So I do put a lot of Post-it notes both at work and in my home. if I want to remind myself to do things this time of year with Easter coming up and so on, like there's a lot of good candy out there. And so I kind of put little post-it notes about, hey, you don't need all this chocolate today, you know, even though I want it. So, I mean, that's a funny little example, but what kind of reminders? Maybe you're going to have an accountability partner, someone in your life that's going to be like, hey, did you get enough steps today? Or did you study today? So it could be academic habits as well. What do you plan to do if you forget about the habit? Like, what if all of a sudden 3 days go by and you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't done this thing I wanted to do. What are you going to do? Are you just going to like restart, give yourself a pep talk, quit? What's your plan? How would you feel if you were able to make or break the habits you've listed for good? Like, how would your life be different? Would it be improved? Would you not see a difference? How would you feel if you weren't able to make or break these? And then what obstacles might prevent you from making and breaking your habits? Is it going to be like time or energy or money or whatever it might be? So whenever you fill that out, make sure you save it and submit it to the Dropbox here. And then, of course, you have your Chapter 11 quiz. Again, just a reminder that this is 2 to 5 sentences in your own words responses. Okay, so make sure that we are answering these from your own perspective using your own words in 2 to 5 sentences, each part of the question. So number 1 talks about an informational flyer about the importance of sleep. What should you include? So what kind of information would you, if you had to make a flyer about why we should get enough sleep, what would you include in that? Question 2, do you have a stress relief routine? So talk a little bit about how you relieve stress, like what strategies have worked. And then is there anything in this chapter that you would like to try? Maybe there's something that you've heard of, you've never tried before, or it was brand new when they talked about it in the chapter. What kind of stress relief? So that's what question 2 is focusing on. Question 3 is a mixture of your opinion as well as evidence from the textbook. What mental health disorder do you think is most common among college students? And then what does the textbook say in personal experience? So it's a little mixture of both. So think about things like anxiety and stress and all of those different aspects that we have to deal with when it comes to mental health. Question 4, what are the 3 types of exercise mentioned in this chapter? There are 3 very specific types of exercise. I go over them in my lecture video, so make sure that you pay attention to that. There are 3 types of exercise. There's a whole section on it. So what are they and what are the benefits of each one? And then question 5, how can you recognize when someone is using drugs or alcohol, and what do you do, or how can you tell if it's becoming problematic? So again, make sure you answer in your own words. Submit that in the Dropbox. So as a quick recap, you are posting your response in the Chapter 11 discussion forum by Wednesday, and then responding to 2 classmates by Sunday, and complete your Chapter 11 assignment on habits, making and breaking, and your Chapter 11 quiz by Sunday as well. Take advantage of week 3 reopening this week, get your student services workshop assignment done, and week 16 will open early as well. See you next time.